Okay, so this is the 2023 Higher Level Leaving Cert Maths Paper 1, question 1. So let's see, we have part A here, and it says find the two values of m which are real, for which the modulus of 5 plus 3m is equal to 11. Okay, so there are a couple of ways of doing this, so let's have a look at maybe both ways. First way is we can square both sides, so let's have a look at doing it that way. So you've got 5 plus 3m equal to 11. So if we square the left hand side, that'll give us, see, 25 plus 30m plus 9m squared is equal to 121. It's a quadratic trinomial, so let's bring everything over to one side. So let's see, on the left hand side we'll have 9m squared plus 30m and then minus 96 equal to 0. Now I can see here I can divide across by 3. So here I'll have 3m squared plus 10m minus 32 equal to 0. This will factorize to give me 3m times m. And if I look at 32, I have 1 times 32. That's not going to work here. I've got 2 times 16. Now I can see if I multiply 3 by 2, it'll give me 6. If I subtract from 16, that'll give me 10. So that should work. So if I put 2 there, put 16 here, I need a minus, so it's going to be plus times minus. I want the bigger one to be plus here. So I want the 16 to be plus and the 2 here to be minus. That gives me, let's see, m is equal to minus 16 over 3, or m is equal to 2. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. Let's have a look at probably an easier way of doing it. So I'll just say or. So let's take 5 plus 3m equal to plus 11, or 5 plus 3m equal to minus 11. So that will give me 3m is equal to 11 minus 5, which is 6. That'll give me m is equal to 2. And we got that down here, so that's fine. We can have over on this side, we've got 3m is equal to minus 16. M is equal to minus 16 over 3. So again, we got that on the left-hand side here as well. So this is probably the easier way of doing it. This is slightly longer here. Okay, so let's have a look at part B. For the real numbers h, j, and k, 1 over h is equal to k over j plus k. Express k in terms of h and j. Okay, so when you see this kind of a question here, you have to get k on its own. We have 2 k's here, so we're going to have to try to get those 2 k's together on one side of the equation. Now again, here we've got a fraction equal to a fraction. So whenever you've got a fraction equal to a fraction, really all you've got to do is cross multiply. Effectively what you're doing is multiplying across by the product of the denominators, but shortcut, just cross multiply. So we're going to multiply the top here, the 1 by the j plus k, give me j plus k, and then multiply the h by the k, so that'll give me hk. Okay, we want the 2 k's together, so I'm going to leave the j on this side, and I'm going to put hk minus k on the right hand side. So I need to factorize out the k, so take k outside the bracket, that'll give me h minus 1. And then finally that'll give me, let's say I want k on its own, so that'll give me j here, divided by h minus 1 is equal to k. Okay, and that's it for part B. Let's have a look at part C then. So in part C we have a quadratic here, x squared minus px plus 1. It's a factor of x cubed minus 2x minus 3r. P and r are real, and p is less than 0. P is negative. Find the value of p and the value of r. Okay, so if this here is a factor of our cubic here, then we can just do some long division and see where we end up. So let's see, we have x squared minus px plus 1. We want to divide that into x cubed plus 0x squared. You can see here that we go directly from x cubed to x, so there's an x squared missing there, so I'll put one in, 0x squared, just to make things easier. We have minus 2x and then minus 3r. Okay, so let's do the long division then. X squared into x cubed will give me x. Multiply the x by this here, that will give me x cubed minus px squared. You can see if I didn't put in the 0x squared here, I'd have nowhere to put this px squared. So let's see, what have we got? We got 1 times x, so that's just 1x. Okay, so we're going to put a line underneath here and subtract. Okay, so we have plus x squared minus x squared, so that should disappear. This becomes a plus px squared, and we have a 0x squared up here, so that will just give me px squared here. And then we have minus 2x. This plus x becomes a minus x, so that's minus 3x. Bring down the minus 3r and start again. Okay, so x squared into px squared is plus anyway, and then it's just p. So multiply, so p times x squared is px squared, minus, then plus times minus is minus, p times px is p squared x, and then plus times plus is plus, 1 times p, p, and that's it. We're kind of finished now at this stage. We know that we were told in the question that this quadratic is a factor of this cubic here, so that means we have a 0 remainder down here. That would mean that these two here have to be equal, these two have to be equal, and these two here have to be equal. So that when we subtract them, if we were subtracting, we would get a 0 remainder down here. So we can see that px squared is equal to px squared, or p is equal to p here. But also then we should see here that this minus 3 is equal to minus p squared, or 3 is equal to p squared. Also here we've got a minus 3r must be equal to plus p. So we have minus 3r is equal to plus p. Okay, so let's just have a look at what we are left with here. We have a p squared is equal to 3. That'll just give me, let's see, p then is equal to plus or minus the square root of 3. But we can see in the question here that it says that p is negative. P has to be negative. Therefore, p has to be equal to the minus square root 3. We ignore the plus root 3. So let's put that in over here. So we have minus 3r is equal to minus the square root of 3. So that'll just give me r is equal to, well, minus divided by minus is plus. So that'll just give me the square root of 3 over 3. Or we could just say 1 over root 3 if you want to simplify it, because this 3 here is root 3 times root 3, and then the root 3's will cancel. So either way I think is fine. And that's really it for question 1.